Whoopsie daisy. Hello.
You didn't see that.
You didn't see
Nothing
anything because it's going to be edited
happened.
out in the video. But for the stream, you get to see that nice and lovely little oopsie that we did there. Hello. Welcome back to Threads of Chaos. This is our Tuesday campaign. We are all here and accounted for. This is episode 8 of our second chapter, The Red Spiral. You can catch the entire first chapter all on YouTube on a playlist, nice and easy to find on our channel. And if you want to get caught up with the current stuff that's going on in chapter 2, you can follow that there. There's a secondary playlist. So you can watch one or both or neither. But why would you be here if it's neither? But without further ado, we're going to just dive into it. So the party have been trying to rid an issue revolving around their patron, Aiden Hassar. And they had found that there's some sort of lingering curse that remains in the body that they are working for. Now, on examining and looking into it, they had found a demonic curse still affecting their patron. Diving into the body, they find the curse directly. It is tied to a very powerful figure called Madame Lazille, who has been pulling the strings alongside Helen/Oberon for quite a while, and is the origin, the person who had written the book The Tome of Chaos, which is just like The Deck of Many Things, but worse. And by worse, I mean there's 100 things that could go wrong. And as we last session had some combat within this plane inside of Aiden Hassar, the party were able to sever all of the ties linking this world to Madame Lazille wherever she may be. In completing this, there was a slight hiccup, however, in feeling betrayed by Oberon as they thought that they were on the same side. Madame Lazille had pulled one last thread in the real world and had brought in a very personal matter, dealing with it then and there. Unfortunately, before anyone could react or impact the scenario, the entire field went purple, and the light had just vanished completely. All of you, in this other realm, wherever you may be, inside of Hassar's psyche or otherwise, have seen this battlefield just disappear in front of you, and you feel weightless. There is a light inside of you that is not normally there, and you feel almost incorporeal as you're just in this nebulous of purple, unsure of what's happened. The last thing to cause this flood of purple was the demon Void Star, who was chained by Madame Lazille, had grown irritated and had done something, yet to be determined of what that something is, but you're living in the aftermath of it. Oberon, because you had somewhat of a pull on what was happening within this space, being connected to dreams as you are by your mother, but also an influence in tandem with what Madame Lazille could do here, you have a bit more of a sentience in this moment. And within this purple haze, I will ask you, Brooke, how is Oberon feeling at this moment?
Oberon is feeling a lot of things, kind of all at the same time. Like, happy that it seems to be over and like none of the party died. Upset at what's just happened, but also like kind of beneath that, almost like a layer of relief that like at least like nothing else can go wrong in that way with what's kind of upcoming, and at the same time they feel bad about feeling that way. So just kind of a lot of things all at the same time.
You spend a fair bit of time here in a moment of reflection. There is a silence that it's just still, and you're left there by yourself. And as these emotions are coming back and forth, there is just this nebulous voice that begins to ring out, one that has no single point of origin. And it just begins to speak with a slight whispered tone, perhaps like it's being raked through the coals and they are exhausted. People like me, we fight for what most people don't even think about. Saying I've never had anything before is putting it lightly. She told me I could have everything even the rich wish to have. As that voice is coming in and out, the ground begins to materialize and the color fade away, although everything still seems quite hazy. You find yourself on some street, down some alleyway, in the gutter, with no one else around you. You are living a person who has nothing. You're living their life in this moment, seeing what it's like from their perspective as they are living within the trash and the rubbish and the discarded filth of this town, left forgotten. As you're coming to and trying to wrap your head around what's going on, we're going to go to Cal. Cal, you have this purple haze as well, where there is just silence. What is Cal feeling in this moment?
A lot of chaos, largely. Just boring emotions of what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Largely that on repeat. And also just utter devastation at what just happened. Even though he had no connection to the child, he is perceptive enough to have noticed the similarities to Helen. And what the voice said is connecting with what happened, and he's drawing conclusions that he doesn't want to be drawing. And at the same time, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? So largely panic.
And panic you do. There's nowhere else to grab onto. There's nothing else around you. You don't even have your own faculties in order. There's no items with you. There's no Janet. There's no Jellybean. There's no Hicarius. There's no one. It is just you by yourself in this moment. You continue to panic. And panic. And panic. And then after some time, that panic just almost scrubs out because you begin to worry, and then there's almost a moment of calm that interjects as this voice begins to come in the same fashion that it did for Oberon, yet this one speaks differently. The same whisper, same sort of exaggerated, almost exhausted feeling, but it speaks out with no origin. I've always been hard to convince, which has left me isolated. Friends and family all gone, and staying at arm's length. I don't have the conviction to change, but maybe she could. She's the first person to have spoken to me in great depth. Is this what it's like to have friends? And she can guarantee I have more. How could I not try? As that voice disperses, the ground becomes more fixated in reality, that purple washing away, and you find yourself down the main streets of a small town. And as you're coming to, there's sounds of people walking past, there's sounds of carts tumbling down the cobbled streets, but it is all empty and void of anyone, except for a devil sat in the discarded trash of this town. You look and you see Oberon sat there.
Cal's gonna march straight towards them. Direct eye contact. And punch them in the face. Oh.
Oberon, you feel that whack against your face? Someone very angered? Someone... What sort of feelings is Cal exuberating at the moment? What's the sentiment?
Desperation. Confusion mixed with an immense sort of loss and anger. But also happiness. He's very confused. And as soon as his fist connects and he reels back from it, he's going to go in for a hug.
Oberon would hug Cal back. Like, not even try to dodge the punch, just like fully knowing, and then would just kind of hold Cal and like squeeze.
Okay, I have a fuck ton of questions, but don't actually bother. No, we're gonna do this afterwards. I'm pretty sure the others are gonna have words, but that felt good. Both of those things. Okay.
Oberon would
Words.
still just be holding Cal as Cal's having whatever reaction, just still would be hugging Cal.
Okay. It's just gonna still in the hug, relax into the hug. Still having lots of emotions, but content to remain in the moment for once.
Nothing else happens within this moment. You hear the cawing of birds above you, but there's none that are visible. Even looking into the buildings that you are nestled between, even the windows that look into them feel like they aren't quite realized. They're almost 2D matte paintings as you're just staring back and forth, and the perspective doesn't change because they are just drawn on. There's no depth, there's no space within these buildings. That is just a hollow memory.
Does it look like the buildings in Bellavere, like from what we've seen?
It does not. These buildings are 2 to 3 stories tall. They are quite wide, quite decadent. But in terms of the architecture that you're seeing here, looks much older. In fact, you've gone through some towns and cities that have this sort of architecture, but the color's faded. The stonework is disheveled or broken down to where you can see large cracks. This is all fairly fresh. This is all fairly clean. This is certainly a snapshot in history. As to where, you're not sure.
Oberon would stand up out of the trash. And just kind of grab Cal, like, still by the hand and just try and, like, peek out of the alleyway. Like, do we see anything?
You begin to look around to try and investigate further. And Alicio, same for you. That purple haze is what you're greeted with for the longest time, it feels like. What's going through Alicio's mind in this moment? How are they feeling?
Angry, first and foremost, just boiling anger that's as he's piecing things together of what happened and what was said. Just mulling it over. Grief, disappointment, but primarily just anger, trying to break out of whatever this is, trying to go back to his body, somewhere where he has control of what's happening.
Okay. In this moment, your mind is wrapped and you try and reach out to anything and there's just nothing to grab onto. It's just a hopeless sort of sea of purple that you find yourself in, and the only thing you're left with is your thoughts. The thoughts that just spiral and layer on top of each other, one after the other, building the building blocks to what could have been, how you could have succeeded, and all of it stacks quite high. And then, the same as everyone else, this voice comes in saying different things. This one much more angered than the other two. Those bastards took the only people I cared about, and she warned me. I was too stupid before, and now I want my revenge. First, I need to find that witch. I don't care what it takes. I want those monsters to rot. And as that fades away, the light follows, and everything around you solidifies. You are now standing just in a marketplace, down this cobbled street. There is no vendors. There is not even wares to purchase. Everything is empty. But you have materialized within this spot. And Cal and Oberon, the two of you can see Alessio down the way, next to this half put together stall, confused and angered.
He's immediately looking for any kind of exit out of this place.
You look around, you can
I was
see
going to push Oberon forward.
the roads
Literally
continue
push each other.
left and right down the hallways and alleyways that are here. You can see even doorways to buildings, and the arch for the doorway is just painted over. There's no actual threshold to pass into. It's just all illusionary in some regard, but it's fixated in reality as well. The first thing you see is Oberon, pushed into the middle of the road, as Cal is just behind them.
Stops for a moment and just glares at them. Doesn't say anything.
Oberon would just kind of wait, I guess. Like, doesn't want to push Alessio to say anything and doesn't want to, do anything. So just kind of sees what Alessio's doing, would also start kind of looking for a door or something, trying to rack their brain for what kind of, how did we get at a weird mind history last time kind of things, and just start kind of, thumbing the edges of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia isn't gonna approach, just keeping distance from Oberon, but they would probably notice Alicia's eyes are glowing white. It's just looking around for any opening doors up, trying to find a portal or anything back to what he knows is reality.
Okay. As you're looking around to find something, there is one of these buildings that the threshold is inviting. You can actually walk into. It seems to be a homestead that isn't 2D. But before we get there, Olrin, the same for you as the rest of them. That purple, just after the events of everything that had happened. You are left there with your own thoughts, none of your craft, none of your items that you've put together and made. You are devoid of all of those things. It is just you, yourself, and your mind. What's going through it at the moment?
Worry. Mostly worry. He didn't have enough time to feel relieved after the fight. He worries for everybody his sister is still left wherever everybody else trapped in whatever this is. And then there's an underlying, growing sense of betrayal. As he has time to fully think out the magnitude of what Oberon / Helen has kept from the group.
And you sit with that for quite a while, pondering on what you'll do next and how you go about it and how you can find everyone, including your sister. At the moment, there's none of that. And you're just left there planning and thinking ahead, trying to future-proof any more problems that may come your way. And then a voice comes to you the same as everyone else. This one, eager. Mages and clerics hide the truth from us. I want to expose those secrets. Not just for my own benefit, although I want to improve my own ability, but for everyone living. This is a moral requirement that our forefathers would have wanted us to have, and she will get it. The purple haze fades away into nothing but dust, and you find yourself sat in a room by yourself. 4 walls, 1 exit, a staircase that ascends behind you to another floor, but that perspective is painted and has nowhere to go to, really. There is only 1 chair and you sit on it. Everywhere else is fake, empty, except for Alicio that pops their head in, and the 2 of you meet eyes.
There. You're the first one I'm seeing. Do you know where the others are?
Outside. At least Cal is.
In that case, Oren would leave the building, seek out the rest.
You find everyone else outside. The 4 of you. Alicio forgot to mention Oberon. But you're not surprised.
Yeah, seeing Oberon would stagger in his step for a moment, and the look is easy to read. Wary, tired, and most of all, disappointed.
Dave, we hit you with a disappointment. Sorry.
I trusted you. In 2 lives, I trusted you. All right. Any sights on others? Has anyone seen my sister?
No, they don't appear to be here. I haven't seen anyone else.
We should get a move on. There ought to be a way out of this place.
Did you guys also hear a weird voice that talked about friends or something? Seemed very sad.
No, mine seemed more intent on gathering knowledge and insulting wizards and the clergy. Direct question to Max. Do I remember the voice from somewhere?
I wouldn't say so, no. It's not a voice that you've heard. The cadence is not familiar. Even though you've come across people who have had vendettas against the clergy or other sorts of establishing bodies, no one like this. And from what you're gathering, this seems like a memory.
Because, like, that speech seemed like it was ghost written by the Enchantress.
Could well be.
Who knows?
There is...
Looking
around, there is a bridge that continues down the cobbled streets past the market, where you can see two people currently stood to the side. There is a flowing river that seems to be underneath the bridge, and they seem to be looking into it, also looking around. As you get closer, or kind of try to pick out any details, you can see both Pietgrana and Mudruk, both of them stood beside each other looking curious as to what this place is, one of them leaning down to the water to inspect it.
Hey, guys! Hey! You're here too. That's good, I think.
Mudruk will nod. We have been here not long, though. Still trying to understand what this is. Pietgrana, currently investigating the running river, her hand dips in, and it looks like it is just silk being pulled on some sort of conveyor belt. There is no actual tangibility to the water, as it's just fabric. And she reaches down and picks some of it up, but it's then carried off as she just lets go. Very strange. Do not quite understand where we are. Seems to be perhaps a recollection of the past. Nothing seems real, but it feels somewhat real.
Certainly isn't like last time we were trapped in visions of the past. This one seems more imaginative.
Hazar, the man, was a painter. And then we just kind of reach out and touch one of the walls.
You touch the walls and it feels like they are on canvas. They aren't made of stone, although they look like it. So you press your hand against the flat side and it bows inwards, as though it is made of material. We both had someone talking to us, saying different things.
So did we.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
They all seem to be monologuing about their motivations of making some deal.
But what is this deal? Is this in reference to the curse that they all have?
They seem to mean Lazille. Is what I'm gathering anyway. They mostly mine called her the witch.
Piethrana will speak up. It seems to be the case. That is the most logical answer. But if this is a recollection of events pertaining to the witch, then perhaps you must find where the witch may be. She is the origin point for all of this, no? As she mentions that, you can see across the bridge, further down, the space opens up, and there is a fountain surrounding a courtyard, like this large, lavish place where people would commune and enjoy themselves. Um, Chairs, tables dressed up with buntings over the top, but again, all of it fake. Nothing truly real in this space, and no one here to live in, except for two other people stood by the fountain, looking ahead. You see both Coraline and Kirill Shazad. Both of them stood there, looking ahead further down this open courtyard.
Over here.
Coraline turns quickly. Kirill continues to stare ahead. She will approach. Oh, you made it. Glad to see everyone's here together. Where are the others? There was more with us. The people that brought in. Have you seen them?
Oh, not so far. But we've only just found you. They may be out here somewhere.
You see further ahead, Kirill looking past this fountain. At first, it looked like he was looking at the fountain, but instead, there is something on the opposite end. You see a tent that has been made. One that resembles a traveling performer. One single cart, one single tent, big enough to house maybe 3 people on the inside. Nothing too lavish, nothing too outstanding, but it's someone who travels. And he is just staring at it intently.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem familiar to Cal? Has he seen it before?
You have seen it before.
For fuck's sake, I can't believe. Yep. Can't believe I actually talked to the real.
Okay, so I didn't actually hear what you said over Leonie's gasp. What?
Which part?
The name of the thing that we're looking at.
A
Or
cart.
the person.
It's just a cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kirill looking at that and seeing the rest of you here, he will just respond with, I don't think any of them are here. I think it is just us. They were not in that room originally. They were just plucked from their homes. Whatever fate has befallen them is away from us. We will not be able to help them any further.
I am certain, because I'm not leaving her here.
I am. I've looked around, I've been here for an hour. I did not see anyone else. You are the first.
Let's still keep our eyes open, just in case.
The tent. It has a high concentration of demonic energy. Something lays within it. So do be careful. Yet I feel the threat has passed. And he begins to walk over in that direction.
So maybe of the other one.
Alicia just follows.
As you follow behind, you begin to hear this sort of whispering originate from the tent, loud enough to carry over to where you guys are currently walking. It is not just one voice, but several, overlapped and speaking in unison. You have saved us from a bound fate orchestrated by the hag, Madame Lazille. We thank you deeply, as now we can pass on to whatever afterlife awaits us. Do you wish to say anything?
Just a polite bow. Like a acknowledgement, but doesn't say anything.
Oberon would think very loudly in its direction that it still owes us wishes.
Jeez.
In a very desperate sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of on a loop.
Just like one of you, we were ensorcelled by her words, and she used them against us, bending us to her whim. Our free will was taken from us, our lives stripped away. We come from many places, different moments in time where we were all placed under this roof. There is no return for us. All we ask is that you let us pass on to whatever afterlife awaits us. And they just repeat that again. Afterlife. Almost as if it's a celebration, as if something they've been waiting for their entire lives. You can now see the tent is open. The main, what looked like on the outskirts, a cheerful, fun sort of entranceway. The closer you got, the more ominous it felt. But now it opens up, and on the inside, you can see a table and a couple of chairs where you'd expect a tarot reading or a palm reading or some sort of swindler's game of chance to be made. But instead, stood around the table, you see 8 shadowy figures, all resembling the same 8 lines of thread that you had severed before. The people who were involved in Madame Lazille's curse many moons ago, the 8 that were alongside Aiden Hassar, now freed and unbound.
We don't see Hazar anywhere.
You only count 8. And you know there were 9 people.
Oberon would sigh kind of very deeply, almost relieved that he's not there. Just kind of look around at the other people. Would I recognize any of them from like stories or paintings or anything?
Not really. Their features are almost androgynous for the most part and not really kept in any solid memory. They don't remember what they themselves looked like because it's been so long. It is the same sort of look that the rest of your party members, because you hadn't gone in originally, had found these people surrounded by light and overcome by light, on the floor, enfeebled and with no strength to themselves. These are the same people. You're freed not once, but twice.
Mm. We won't stand between you and the afterlife, I don't think. You're free to move on.
They all bow in unison. We thank you for this, for saving us. For years, centuries, we have watched as people have come by, and we were helpless than to give them what they wished for, with a wicked turn and recompense. Madame Lazille turned us into a weapon of chaos. But now we are freed. Let our final moment be to help those undo what she had done. Void Star is not with us. The demon which we encased within our own bodies, they lay outside of this realm. But we possess a fraction of his power, and together can help you with one wish. It is between the group of you to come to what wish you would like to wish for.
Demanding
Yeah.
glare over to Oberon.
Yeah, in the back, Oberon would just be standing kind of at the entrance and just go like very still. And you'd just see like their chest just like heaving, and it almost doesn't look like they're breathing. Just kind of staring at this whole thing, just kind of waiting.
Cal's just looking in between Oren and Alicia, both who are still much more angry than he is. Unsure if he should suggest what he wants to suggest.
I mean, Alicia looks like he's expecting Oberon to say something.
Arna, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Yep, just noticed. Orin would turn around to Oberon. Just give a tired nod. Go on. None of us are cruel enough to deny this.
Would just turn to the 8 of them and go, "The boy, could you bring him back?"
You see the other 4 members in your group nod in approval as well. Kirill even placing a hand on your shoulder, Oberon, as someone who has lost people they loved before as well. For a moment, there is a glare of selfishness that you can feel bubble up in each one of these people, but they know the right choice. And you see the 8 shadows nod. Then so be it. Your wish is granted. And let us guide your hand in any future matters against Madame Lazille and those who stand against freedom. The spirits present themselves one by one to you. And now, each one of you have a choice. The spirits contain abilities that they wish to pass on to you before they go into the afterlife, leaving a slither of their power that they have been granted to empower you on your next feats, whatever that may be. There is only one choice that you can make. There is no repeats. So I will send them to you, and you can tell me which ones you wish to go for. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see.
The stone that is lifted of my soul. And now, we just get to be mad at Oberon and don't have to feel bad about it.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's a text.
I'll read through the abilities so people at home know what you're working with. The first ability there is Weathered Body. You choose 2 damage types to gain resistance in. The second one is Moral Compass. You cannot be charmed or frightened, and you have advantage against deciphering illusions or disguises. The third one, Magical Prowess. you gain a 3rd level spell from the wizard or cleric spell list. You can cast a spell for free once per day. You use your wisdom, intelligence, or charisma. You choose which one to determine a spell casting ability. And when you complete a long rest, you can swap it out for another spell from that same list. The 4th ability, past experiences. You gain 2 proficiencies in ability checks, 2 in languages, and 2 in tools, instruments, or weapons of your choice. Additionally, you gain an expertise in 1 ability check you already have proficiency in before choosing one of these 6. Bolstered is the 5th ability. Increase one of your ability scores by 3. You also gain proficiency in that ability score's saving throw. The next one, binding weapon. When you complete a short rest, you can bind to a weapon of your choosing. You can conjure that weapon into your hand as part of your action. So it's just a free sort of thing to do. That's if you do not have it equipped or already on your person. The weapon gains a +1 to hit and damage, and as a bonus action, you can make an attack with it. The next one you have is Tricks of the Trade. Increase all of your ability scores by 1. Your AC increases by 1 no matter what armor you're wearing, and increase your HP by 1 per level. And then the last one, Watchful. You can no longer be surprised, nor do you need to sleep. You only need to spend half your normal rest time. So if you are human, that is 4 hours for a long rest. If you are an elf, that's 2 hours for a long rest. Doing light activity to gain the benefits of a rest, be it short or long. When rolling initiative, you have advantage and can swap your order in the initiative with any ally. Those are the options to choose from. There is only one per, so you have to choose wisely who gets what.
Also, 2 people can't choose the same ability.
Nope.
Okay.
Everyone else go first. I just got the boy back.
I was gonna say that. I don't want to be the first to pick. Leonie, you go ahead.
Oh. Um.
There's lots to choose from, and they're very different. So, take your time.
I'm thinking. This is hard. They're all good. I do like the idea of going for moral compass with Cal. Because, I don't know, it's fun. But on the other hand, if Orin gets charmed, we're way more fucked. So.
I wasn't going to pick that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have 3 in mind. I would pick, but that's not it.
That's not one of them. Was anyone else eyeing that one? So
Go for it.
because Cal's already kind of perceptive and shit, so being able to see through illusion. Okay, Cal's going with moral compass.
Okay.
Yeah. I already have really good wisdom save, so that kind of feels redundant.
Very good. The spirit of the Seeker enters your body just before they expire and disappear altogether, passing on to whatever life is next for them. Who's next?
Aaron, do you want to go since you already kind of have?
Yeah, I have 3 in mind. I don't mind you narrowing it down for me.
No, you go ahead. It's okay.
See.
I'm assuming one of them is binding weapon.
No, it really isn't.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm not really trying to be a damage dealer.
Really? Really?
You fooled us!
Damage meets sponge.
Somebody pull up that screenshot again of last session.
I blame that partially on Max. He gave me that item, but we both underestimated it.
Oh, which one are you eyeing?
I'm eyeing Weathered Body for the resistances, Tricks of the Trade because it's just useful, and Bolstered.
Mm,
I was also thinking about the past experiences, but I got so many crafting experiences, proficiencies, I mean. But I'm kind of running out of useful things.
No, you need more.
I got 10.
You need more. You need every single one.
Honestly, I'm probably getting there by the end of this.
um, I'll narrow it down for you. I'll pick weathered body.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just have to look at all the damage types that exist in D&D.
The spirit of the poor goes through you, Alessio. One excellent one.
Oh,
And expires as soon as they pass through, granting you the weathered body ability.
okie dokie.
I just realized I could give myself dexterity proficiency, like on saving throws.
Yeah.
You 100% could.
I kind of don't want to because I try to make my character like more into what he already is rather than trying to be an all-rounder. I feel like he's more cumbersome.
So any type of damage, not just elemental types of damage.
Any type, yeah. You can choose slashing if you wanted to. You could choose force if you wanted to, psychic, any.
Hmm. I'll do radiant and slashing.
Sure. Just make a note that's where the resistances come from in case we forget.
Yeah.
Okay, Arne and Brooke. Still some to choose from.
Now take tricks of the trade.
Okay. So what are your stats now?
19, 14, still 22 because that's an override. 14, 21, and 15.
Nice.
Also, that's 9 more HP, ladies and gentlemen.
And that leaves you, Brooke. So, Olrin, as you choose the spirit to take on, the spirit of the heartfelt passes through you, and you gain the ability of Tricks of the Trade.
For free, does that mean that it doesn't need components?
So it means that you do not need spell slots to be able to cast it. So if you're a barbarian, you could use the spell still, because it doesn't need a spell slot requirement.
But it would need the material components for it. If it's like
It would need the material
revivify,
components,
yeah.
It still has to follow the restraints of the spell itself, but it is always prepared and doesn't need the slot to be able to cast.
I'm currently torn between past experiences, just because Scale Monkey and Bolstered, but the two skills I'd put it into, I already have those saves. So I'm kind of torn, unless I just put it in my charisma, and then I had 21 and charisma saves, but
Tough choices.
Well, while you're picking, Alicia now has abilities called Mastering Body and Weathered Body right next to each other. And I unknowingly picked very similar pictures for it.
Makes sense, makes sense.
I'll take the ability checks. One past experiences.
Okay. What ability checks do you go for?
I will take. I think I'll take performance and religion.
Okay.
Nice.
You can handle the languages ones and whatnot afterwards if you want. It's just better to know which ability scores you end up going for. And as well, the expertise, which one do you choose for expertise? This is one of the ones that you already had proficiency in before.
Yeah.
So not performance or religion.
History.
Okay. Mark those off. Very good. So, as you choose the past experience ability, the spirit of the ego passes into you and expires. The other spirits go off into the other characters that are here, each one of them gaining a boon similar as the rest of you. And with all of that, as they all disappear one by one, the surroundings all begin to go darker as the memory of this place is being extinguished, as the people who were here once before are now no longer in this realm. For a moment, you can even see as the darkness comes, it is almost like a veil that opens upwards, and it is just this void of black in front of you as all of you are standing and watching it. These greyed bodies just slowly descending down into it, finally welcoming death. And coming back from there, Oberon, you see a small child walking back in your direction, seemingly unfazed or unknown of what happened before.
Oberon would, in Sylvan, just start telling this one of the stories their dad would have told them, like as a lullaby, kind of half singing it, and just kind of kneel down on the ground and hold out their arms.
Can you describe him for us, since last time we didn't get much of a description?
Yeah. So it's a little boy, maybe like 6 years old, probably just around started school age, with light blue hair, like just nipping down at the back with like a little braid, satyr with like kind of chestnut colored fur on his legs, and a little bit of fuzz around the sides and on his arms, well dressed otherwise. Little horns kind of coming up and curling back around on both sides. Funny square pupils like Helen had as well. Ears down, tan, freckles all over him.
As you begin to regale this song, this kind of song slash story that always had this upbeat sort of tune to it, as your father always put a little spin on his stories that he would tell. You see he approaches, and even though you may not look like Helen, he can see past that. And you see his eyes widen, they soften. The sort of mute expression that he had, unsure of really what's going on around him, as though he is currently dreaming and sleeping and perhaps not even aware of the true reality of things. He wanders up to you and embraces you in that hug. He looks at you, his hand placing against your head and then your horns. And he smiles, not wanting to interrupt the story that you're telling him. And you can see he's older, but not by much. He's wiser, but not by much either. But the kindness in his eyes have never changed. And that smile just peeks through. And he just leans into you.
Would just kind of keep telling a story and just hold him really close, not knowing like if after this he's going to be where they are or back where he was, and just kind of holding him as tight as can, like wings wrapped around as well, just like holding on to him.
He looks up at you, smiling. I miss you so much.
I'm gonna come get you, okay? I have horns now too, so we can match.
And he just begins to grab both of them, yanking your head down slightly. Okay. People are after you, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Just be careful, okay? Don't. You can. Please don't tell her you saw me. Though I'm sure she already knows.
I won't tell her.
Be brave, okay?
You too. I'll see you soon. Love you, Helen.
Love you too. And would just like hold him. Just kind of rock him almost.
Eventually this space fades away. Fades away to a point where the reality of things becomes much more solid, and you revert back in your bodies where you were before. And that's where we're going to have a break, since we're about halfway through. So we're going to have a quick break before we continue. 5 minutes, and then we'll return. So make sure you're there. Make sure you're there, hydrated or emptied, if you're going for a wee. I don't know. See you in a bit. And welcome back. So we returned back from our break as the group have returned after having delved into their patron's mind, whatever sort of combat that was, and have returned slightly enhanced. Although the damage that you've taken in there has carried over, so you're still feeling injured and hurt for the most part. But as you come to, you see the rest of your allies in the same space. Richter standing there, very worried, looking around as Oberon has their hands around Aiden Nassar's head. The Dr. Claudius is currently looking around, very quizzical, as he's been examining the open chest the entire time. Tuco is currently there, very concerned, seeing people bleed out from their mouth and any other orifice where blood would come out from. And it's just a strange sort of dynamic as you all return back. At first, it's kind of questions, worry, some people pointing weapons because I don't know if you're possessed. So it's a mixed bag. Do any of you speak first?
Oberon would just kind of immediately like just sit down and like is almost still like just like arms kind of crossed.
Yeah. Rich will look around.
Gallus also sitting down, but mostly because he's fucking hurt. So he's just sitting down on the ground going, okay, cool.
What happened? What happened in there?
Yes. Okay, so there were creepy light beings without faces, and they were being guarded by these other light thingies that seemed evil, and then they ate them. The light thingies ate the evil thingies. And then they opened up into a void, and I went through it. And then we fought giant hands that were super evil. And they had strings. They had strings attached to the demon. And
The entire room goes absolutely silent as Cal is the only one speaking gibberish.
From the floor, you just hear Madame Lazille was partially in control of his soul and mind for a long time.
that.
So is it over? Is it finished?
Well,
Is Aiden Hazar free?
well, probably. That's very unclear. So, 8 of the 9, like, sort of went on into the afterlife. We didn't quite see the final piece, the Void Star, the actual demon. So that's probably where Hazar, our guy, is too. We should probably check on the guy upstairs, actually.
You see Claudius putting up a finger. There's a change in the body. The lights,
Uh-oh.
the purple
Oh, no.
lights, they are gone. All
Oh,
of them.
good. No, that, again, all of them?
Yeah.
There should be one there. I should. Aren't missing anything? Maybe there's one that you missed.
All of the lights, they are gone. They have dispersed. All that is left is just this grey matter. It is still pumping and breathing as though this creature is still alive. But that foreign influence is no longer. The purple shroud is gone. And each one of you see your pendants no longer shine in this room. The demon influence here is
Okay.
no longer.
No more demon. That's good. Does someone wanna go? Fuck it. Cal's gonna get up and he's gonna go into the cellar
Caroline's
to
going to
see
follow
if
behind.
any change. Because if the light's not in there, then the light might be up there.
Rushing up as fast as you can, you look over and around, examining the body, which is there. You see he's still there, quiet, silent, nothing.
But if he's still there, then the deal can't be complete, right? So
I don't know. I don't see anything, and nothing's happening on our amulets. Maybe the demonic thing's gone.
it wasn't. It was very much there when we were fighting, and then it wasn't there when the other 8 left. So, and they said that it's out there somewhere. So it's probably still somewhere.
She'll look disturbed and continue examining the body to see if there is any resemblance of any lingering demonic energy. She'll start ritualing and doing different magics to analyze the area to see what she can find. Meanwhile, Kirill, who has been pacing around the room, you see him stop as he finishes looking around everywhere. The demonic threat is no longer here. Those 8 souls have expired. They have dissipated. But everything else is the same. There is no more influence here on Aiden Hassar. But that doesn't mean that the curse is lifted. The curse was bound by the hag. The curse starts and ends with the hag. I do not know what he thought would happen by collecting all 9 or reaching that final end, but I'm sure that had something to do with Madame Lazille and what she wanted from all of this. As I see it, the demon has gone altogether. I can't even sense it in this world.
So what? The Voidster just up and left.
Can each one of you roll a perception check?
Okay.
Oh boy.
28.
Nice.
Maybe I
28.
should have taken. May I change that religion to perception? Because I forgot that I'm still not proficient in perception.
Sure, you can if you want to. Yeah. The ability, the proficiency.
Yeah.
Sure thing. But 28 is bang on the money. Looking around the entire household, you can see that there is something that has changed. Nestled in that brambled forest, you see a freshly placed babushka doll relic.
He arrested himself?
He wished for himself to be free of this world, and he has placed himself within there. And that is why Kirill cannot sense him. But Alicia, you see that and no one else does. Not yet, at least.
Just looks at it. In almost disappointment. And he's gonna head back to where everyone is, I'm assuming, still in the room where the body is.
Mm-hmm. You see at this point... Go on.
Oh. He, trapped himself downstairs, if you wanna go take a look.
You what?
Yeah.
Like that? Oren snaps his finger.
Apparently, just left us to our own devices. Even though we asked him to stay. But I guess not everyone here is truthful, and glares at Oberon. And people notice that Alicia's hair is turning similar to the way Nebula's is, so like slightly floating in the air, just slightly glowing. The only other person who would have seen that before is probably Claudius. And he would probably know.
To vacate the premises?
Anger is imminent.
During this time, as Alicia goes down and comes back up, Claudius has closed the wound that was open on Aiden Hassar's chest, using his own hands to push it back together again. The wound now just a slit against his chest, as the stone all just melts and pushes together as though it was textile or paper. The eyes glow white. as Aiden Assar comes to. He perches up on the bed, looking around at everyone, his eyes kind of focusing. I feel different.
You're not supposed to be here. Might be why.
What do you mean I'm not supposed
Wait,
to be
wait, who
here?
are you?
I'm the same person that was trapped within that stone. I am the Aiden Hassar that isn't Aiden Hassar.
And who's... I'm confused.
What is going on?
Can someone explain?
And he begins to stand up. Coraline grabbing his jacket and placing it over his shoulders. Is it gone? The demon.
Yeah. And I
And
thought
the-
you were a part of the demon.
He looks around and looks at his hands. So did I. Kirill will walk in, looking at all of this, and having seen the jar down below. Your curse is tethered to Madame Lazille. Your essence is still that trapped little soul that formed your body. You were merely a vessel for this demon to be spread out across all of you. You pertain to 1/9 of it. And now all of those ninths have come to a solid end, creating the demon known as Void Star, which has decided, very kindly of it, to trap itself. But you, Aiden, are no longer a demon. He just continues to look at his hands. But, what does that mean about the true man? What... How do I bring him back? That was my promise, to bring him back. I don't think it matters what your promise was. The curse that surrounds you was created by the hag. You cannot return to what was. You cannot give up your body for him. He has made his choice.
Hmm?
The only way out of this, as per any curse, is to remove it from the person that gave it to you. And that all stems back to the hag in question.
Oberon would kind of stand up and just put just squeeze his shoulder.
I thought that would be everything. I thought that would fix everything, but...
Sorry, did you know about the hag?
He looks up at you. What do you think?
You speak of as if you did. Did you? And he looks to Kirill.
I understand you are angered. Do not put that on me. Face your anger elsewhere, young elf.
Wait, but answer the question.
You?
I did not know.
Thank you.
Did any of us
What
know?
that's my part.
Did any single one of us know?
Well, someone clearly did.
Did you know? And looks to Oberon.
I had some idea.
How much of an idea?
Caught him talking to her recently, and he'd say whatever it was, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, in a timeline. That's why I didn't want to go in there. I didn't know if she'd use me against all of you.
And Oberon came to me in confidence to get out of this, but only moments before we entered Aiden Hazar's mind. So I knew just a split second before we entered. If I knew this sooner, I would have dealt with it sooner.
It's not about dealing with it, it's about telling us.
The more we speak in front of that tome, the more she listens. That is the crux of this. There's no point in interfighting, that's what she wants.
Oh, I think I have the right to be mad when you have been lying to us, to me. You let me grieve for 6 months, thinking you were dead. I blamed myself for what happened to you. And you didn't tell us about her. And you almost had a kid's blood on all of our hands. So I'm gonna be fucking mad, Corel. I know empathy is fucking hard for you, because all you cared about was breaking the fucking barrier. You are lucky that they brought him back. Other people don't get that chance. And he's going to sign something to Oberon and then storm out.
Claudius would follow behind.
Is it just, would I recognize what the sign is? Or is it just like a fuck you kind of thing?
Just
Would Oberon know sign language or anything little of it?
Shimmering
By
middle
the
finger.
gesture, you can probably tell it's something like, you fucking asshole.
Okay. Oberon would just kind of not even like move and just like phase through the wall to follow Alessio.
Well, that's probably a bad idea.
I don't understand what's going on.
Oh my god, no at all. Oh no.
Do I see Oberon following me?
Depends how focused in a rage you are. Roll a wisdom save.
Sure.
We'll say DC is 15. You'd notice. But you also see Claudius in between them and you.
Alicia will glare at where Oberon is with a "don't fucking follow me" look. Just back off.
Oberon would like immediately just leave. Wouldn't.
Damn, do our own rooms have their like own bathrooms, or is there just like a...
They have their own en-suites.
Yeah. He'll go to his room and to the bathroom.
Okay. Claudius wouldn't follow behind at that point, and he would just see that Oberon was giving a telling off, and if anything, would probably approach them instead. Go on, Leonie. You want to say something?
Callum's rushing out of the room after Oberon, going, "No, you get back here! Explain to the others! I'm not doing that for you!"
Explain what?
Get back in here!
Oberon would go back in the room, and just kind of firstly look to everyone who was there, the boy. He's my brother, as probably some of you guessed. He's not here, so I can guess that he's where she plucked him from, which would be deep in a castle somewhere, surrounded by thralls. He's the only family I have left. Ever since I had that, and would just kind of point towards the book, when I touched it, she said she could help me, promised to lend me a hand, help me get what I wanted, which at the time I would have done anything for, and I was doing anything for. Couldn't see anything beyond that. I just didn't even try to take him with me when I left. I just couldn't stand to be there anymore. My stepmother, and would say her name, Tintava. We saw her once and would describe when we were running through the spiral to the other two.
At this point, you see connections are being made, and each one of them has different reactions to it. Richter understanding but surprised. Caroline confused but very curious. But Tuco seemingly a put back, we'll say.
She already didn't like me, but when she saw us, then I was worried. I mean, she recognized me and all of you, and I knew it would be worse. And then when we were fighting those things, and everyone else was stuck inside the barrier. I didn't have anything I could hurt it with. I didn't know what would happen, and I opened and then would just point towards the book, and everything just went. I didn't really know what was happening. I opened my eyes and saw nothing really, runes, voices, people talking, and then all of you, and would just kind of flex like Oberon's hands and this, and I thought in that moment, if she thought I was dead, maybe it would be less to use against all of you. Maybe she'd leave you alone a little bit more. At the very least, she wouldn't try and use my brother or anyone else that Helen would have known against any of us. And you guys don't know anyone there, so it might have been an easier fight. And then just kind of stuck, and then with Grim and Helen's body, and he's dead. I found him when we took some time off. Tracked him, found him, killed him, her. So there's nothing left of that body out there anywhere, really. Grim's soul went to a good cause, I guess, in the end, so that was good, but he's still there, my brother in the Fae, so apparently she's, well, has figured it out in the meantime and is after us or extra mad at us or something, so that's going to be a problem. I was hoping to avoid that getting worse, but I was also talking to Maeve, and she might help us if it comes to it, but
Huh?
I
Wait,
don't
hold
know.
on. What? I was
I
fully
mean,
on board with this entire speech. Now you lost me.
if she's after us, my stepmother, like she
Yeah,
said she was,
as you
it's
said.
not, it's a it's a kingdom, there's an army, it's bigger than us, more than we can deal with. I knew it would come
100%,
to
but
it eventually, but
the lady we
we need,
literally agreed as a group we didn't want to redeem. We literally had a moment about that. And
yes,
then she allied herself with an enemy of ours.
she, at the time she was the only one I thought might have an army, but apparently my uncle is out there doing something rabble rousing. I'm surprised he was doing nothing for too long. I guess it finally got to him. So we're not alone in the fight, I guess, but
This is
it's
a
not
lot.
gonna be good.
This is like a very large amount.
It is a lot. But even though I feel I should be angry, I'm just happy you're back, Helen. I'm happy we didn't actually lose you. And I'm sorry you couldn't say anything to us sooner about everything. Everything you've been going through. You've been doing it alone. I'm sorry.
Oberon would kind of almost like have a like almost smile towards Zuko and would just start rummaging in their bag and pull out the book of fairy tales that they've been working on and just kind of slide it over to Zuko and goes, um, I've been doing this for you just in case. I was gonna post it to you, but and just hand it to Zuko.
He'll pick it up, place it on the floor, and just give you a hug.
I'll hug him back.
Roll a con save. I'm joking. He just hugs you. The rest of the group, confused, questions that they wish to ask, but don't think it's the time to ask them. Is there anything that Orin or Cal say, hearing all of this, since the two of you are present in this room when everything's being announced?
You've been lying and keeping information for even longer than I thought then. Oberon or Helen, you've risked all our lives because you couldn't trust us in our ability. And now, how am I to trust you?
I still don't really trust in our ability against a kingdom. That's why I spoke to Maeve. I don't expect you to trust me this whole
This
thing.
isn't about the kingdom. That's in the future. I'm talking about the fight we just had. We went in as if to die. You still wouldn't talk.
Do you think I could have? Seeing her, nothing I could have said.
You could have
She's
warned
a
us.
god.
Yeah, maybe we would have thought again about going inside this guy's head if we'd known what we were going to encounter.
Didn't know if she would be there. I didn't know what was happening. That's why I didn't go. I didn't want her to use me in some capacity against all of you. I didn't know what. I still don't know what kind of grip she has on my soul, what really I agreed to months ago, years ago. Not an oath that was easily broken, that I even knew what it was really. Like, you couldn't speak against Morden. I would not know what I could say against her. When I caught her speaking to him, I would just kind of gesture to where he was on the table. I couldn't even tell him about his own mind. I could barely tell Kirill, and I didn't even say anything to him. It was images, wordless metaphor. I was just hoping that he, of anyone, would figure it out, do something. I can't fight something like that.
Caroline will speak up. As much as I don't like it and I agree with Ulrin, we're best knowing this rather than not knowing. I think there's some credence to what Oberon is saying. We saw the strings that they pulled in there, this Madame Lazille. What if she knew more about us? What actually hurt us? What if her strings of fate were tied around our lives instead? Look at what happened to Oberon. Or Helen, if you want to have one or the other. That could have been one of us instead. It could have been all of us if we were all involved. No matter the outcome of what happened in there, I feel like we're lucky. Could have been much worse.
Exactly my point. We got lucky. The outcome we've got was arguably as good as we could get, given the circumstances. We could have just as easily died. All of us.
Knowing that she was there, would you have done anything differently? Not gone in there? You knew something was there. We need him. I couldn't convince you not to go in just because it's dangerous. Telling you she was there. I don't even know anything about her, really. That would have helped. What would have changed?
I've
We would
spent
have done it.
months preparing this group for what I could think of, equipping you.
I've known she's in his head for 2 days. 3.
Did we need to go in unprepared? Is what I'm asking. Well,
Nothing you could've-
even 2 days are enough to make a difference. Had I known. I would not argue against. I would not continue to argue to your judgment. I need time to think. And Oren is going to leave to his own room.
I'm glad to know you're safe. I'm glad to know you're not running around somewhere alone, doing whatever dangerous shit, but yeah, there's a lot of crappy emotions to work through, so yeah, glad you're back. And Cal's also gonna leave.
One by one, everyone begins to leave over onto their devices. The only person left behind, Aiden Hussar. And he just still sat on the bed, just looking at you. Thank you. And he'll stand up, and he'll begin to leave as well. We will jump to Alicio, since you were the first to leave. What is Alicio doing?
He slams the door behind him in his room and kind of paces around his room for a moment. Just moving things that were maybe in the way or in a mess, and then he goes to the bathroom, trying to calm down his breathing, but he just heads over to the sink and slowly takes off the gloves. Okay. And he's gonna wash his hands and face, trying to cool off, trying to not think about what happened. But the cycle almost makes it worse as he just keeps repeating it. And then stops at 7 and just sits down on the floor.
Okay. What's going through Alicio's mind?
He feels mad at Oberon or Helen, whichever it is. Part of him is relieved that they're alive, that they didn't die that day, but they feels very out of control of things, especially this day. And it's just overwhelming amount of emotions that he doesn't know how to process in the moment. He is just overwhelmed and he's shutting down.
Knowing of the anger that you can get in, knowing that some people need time to themselves, you see Nebula is in a bit of a tussle, whether to comfort or to leave you be. And seeing the flare of anger, she chooses to leave you be, to let you sit in it and not have someone else prod or anger you any further. So you just sit there. Everything just racing through your mind, all of the connections, all the grieving. whilst that's happening, we'll go to the next one to leave, which was Olrin. Where does Olrin go, and what does he do?
Oren will, yeah. Honestly, he was leaving towards his room and sat down for a moment. But he kept mentally circling and eventually grew tired of inaction. Is now pacing around the estate, eventually seeking out the crafting area he had set up within.
Mm-hmm. As you're preparing your things, there is a moment where a coldness just wells up in your chest, and you feel the presence of that demon inside of you.
Thank you for saving my brother.
I can't say you're welcome. I'm conflicted about a lot of this.
Every decision comes with consequence. Life is just reaction to living. Time ebbs and flows. We cannot control all outcomes. We must take things as they come, be it life or death or both. I am thankful that you have stopped another demon from their own self-torture.
You don't suppose the rest of your siblings will be so receptive to help?
Time changes everyone. I am not. The stories that are told, who's to say that my kin are as well? We've all had a chance to live in this world, and some of us has taken that into account. And some of us have taken it for granted. And some of us have taken it for their own personal greed. We are not one note, we are complicated. And Void Star was just a prisoner who is now finally free to make a choice of their own. And the choice has been made.
I won't promise to go help all your siblings. Frankly, I can't, and I will not prioritize their well-being over that of those they hurt.
They have sown the seeds of their own gardens, be it life or death. Their decisions have made it. You will just enact that finality.
I will not give them to Coral. That much I can grant you.
A warmness around your heart before the fade away. What does Orin end up crafting or get up to?
Thoughts racing through his mind. He's heating up metal, shaping it. Gets frustrated at his lack of progress. Restarts the process, molding the same piece of metal into shapes as his thoughts drift into different directions, getting nowhere.
For the first time in a long while, you are aimless in your crafting pursuits and trying to find the answer for everything, leading to nowhere. But it's a nice distraction nonetheless, no matter how much progress you make in one thing or the other. We'll jump over to Cal. Cal, you were the last to leave. Oberon, where do you go?
Cal would go outside and climb onto the roof and just stare. I assume we're still right in front of his Redena.
You are, yeah.
Just stare across the treetops, across the water at the town he grew up in. And he is going to quickly use the feather to contact Hercarius, check he's alright. Just give him a quick, "Are you safe?" Just write those few words.
A response comes through. I woke up this morning with a slight bloody nose, thinking that it was perhaps a bad dream. But no, it sounds like that was real. Or at least whatever you fucking got up to got me involved as well. Why do you keep doing this? Why is it always you? No matter. I'm safe. Hopefully you are too. Just try to avoid these sorts of circumstances, but I know this is going to fall on deaf ears. Just stay lucky instead. And I'll see you soon.
It's just gonna chuckle upon reading that and just gonna put it away again, as he can't respond until the next day. He's gonna play with the idea of just ditching the house for a bit, going into the city anyway, but he realizes that it takes too much time and that we might be wanting to move on, so he's just gonna stay on the roof and process. He did already know, all of us already knew that Helen wasn't dead, but still this throwing it up again and making it so obvious that he was around the entire time and not bothering to tell anyone. He's working through it.
By the way, technically, Alicia used your feather today, but
Max is a new day. We were in there quite
fine.
long.
It's fine.
okay. If you get a message from my dad, my bad, dude.
Don't worry. Who are you?
Okay. You look back at your home city, contemplating whether to return, head in. Instead, you just take in the surroundings of the nature. The bristling trees just coming into the grounds of the estate that travels wherever it sees fit. And you're just left there in solace, listening to the wind and the branches flow, as you would do any other day that you'd be in Isradurna, leaving the cityscape for something more natural. Last but not least, Oberon. After the heated confrontation, where do you go to and what do you do?
Oberon would just like let everyone have their space. So this is like a room that has a closable door, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would just stay in here and would pull out the knife, the ceremonial dagger, and just kind of start running through basically like fighting forms, but the ones that they would have learned when they were very young, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of repetitive, almost like dancing, just kind of back and forth, humming, just occupying themselves.
At moments, you're brought back to the courtyard of your homestead in Harperley, where the grounds were soft and the guards were prominent, training, and some of them stood back and watched as you trained alongside not just your father but also your uncle. All three of you just in various forms of synchronicity, not very, trying to follow the same sort of fighting patterns, which resembles a almost jovial dance across the stage, going down and up and doing a variety of very strange moves that you wouldn't normally see on the battlefield. Very out of the box, unorthodox fighting styles that blend both theatre and the art of war. For moments, you can see both of them there with you as you are younger, your mother watching on, a simpler time, but now one that is completely foreign, as everything about your life has turned upside down. And then you come back to, with the blade in hand, a bead of sweat dripping down, poised for what comes later. But that's later, and you're still in the now. You all have time to yourselves. There is no moving in this household. Everyone is still trying to wrap around the events that have just happened, as plans have not changed, but there are different ways to approach things now, knowing that the demonic force is no longer. You are several demons down. You've taken out 4 demons so far, and there is one still ahead. But there's been no plans to move with that one yet. So, the afternoon and evening is yours, to do as you see fit. At one point, Alicio, you will receive a knock on the door, as you can hear the very tentative, soft knocking of your friend, Claudius, having given you a couple of hours to yourself.
Nope. Put the gloves back on, and then he'll just slightly open the door.
And see, he'll give a slight smile, looking through the gap. Am I right to enter?
And he'll open the door fully, and his cheeks are like slightly red from washing them too much.
He'll enter, look around the room, noticing it's not missing a speck of cleanliness. It is tip-top shape. And he's perceptive enough to know your bad tendencies and notices the cheeks and notices the hands, even though the gloves have just been put on. Are you all right? Is there something you wish to discuss? Friend to friend?
Sits down on the bed and is gonna write in his little notebook. Oberon is a friend that I thought died. And they didn't tell me.
The Oran Tuko has informed me of what has transpired. Certainly not an easy matter to overcome. I am not here to bring solace. That is not my expertise. But I'm here to listen and to bring some pointers. I'm sorry you're feeling this way. And I know emotions can be difficult. Experiences even harder to explain. You have been through so much already, even though you are very young. Too young for all of this. But if anyone were to be capable, it is you, Al. Ever since the
Redstone,
moment that I
you
had you as my student, there was a brilliance that I did not even want to confess, because at moments you even outshined my own observations. You are very capable, no matter what sort of hand you've been dealt with, be it fate, be it biology, none of that truly matters, because you have defied the odds, and you make the odds yours.
call me Alicia now.
Well, Alicia, you can call me Claudius.
Thank you.
And he'll scoot closer in case you wanted a hug, but he won't touch.
Just leans up against him.
I have to say, this is a very strange house. And I thought your own homestead was quite different. This one takes the biscuit.
Yes, this mansion makes my homestead seem relatively normal in comparison, I suppose.
There is still the drama that you'd expect. There's still some shouting. There's still the examining of bodies. There's still a lot of talk of clergies and divine. It's very similar. Very similar.
Maybe on paper.
Maybe. You would know better.
Yeah. No annoying sisters.
No, you've changed those for whatever this is.
Well, I guess you can have your cake and eat it too. I was never really a fan of cake, so I don't really get that saying.
Yeah, that one I could never explain. But I remember, Alicia, for the longest time, you always questioned connection, a friendship. It was mainly just you, Otto, and I for a long time. These emotions you're feeling are natural. This is what it is like to have friends, both close and at arm's length. It is a difficult chemistry that lies within our minds, but it is one that only arrives through pure love and fondness. We would not be feeling this way, or falling into this spiral, unless we truly cared. That is enough evidence for me to say that you are where you belong. At least for now. I don't want you dying, and I'll have to explain that to your family. It's not...
You don't need to tell my family that. You don't.
Well, I feel like I have to tell your mother at least, you know.
No. I mean, if I die, yes, but until then, we don't need to tell her
So
anything.
you'll have to speak to your mother at some point. At least keep her up to date with what's going on.
I will write to her. I said I would. I don't know how much I should be telling her about all the demon business. I don't want her involved in all of that.
Just talk about your adventures and the places that you find. Believe it or not, but your mother, although being a socialite, most of her mingling is indoors. She's never truly been to other places and explored all of these strange lands that you will be finding yourself in. I'm sure she'll enjoy that.
I'll make sure to write to her then.
The next question I have is, do you need me any further?
Well, there is the original contents of the first letter I sent you. Could use help in research regarding that.
Do you have a good lab here? One for research on the molecular level?
I'm sure Olrin has something akin to that, but if not, I wouldn't be surprised if they let us have some space to set it up.
I have brought some tools with me just in case, but they are portable, not as refined as something as a station. But we can affix things together.
There's some alchemist tools and basics of it.
In that case, it sounds like I'm staying for a while then, until we are comfortable with what we find.
As long as you like to stay.
Well, like is a strong word. I'm curious. Curiosity drives me more than anything else. And to see you safe and happy, of course.
Speaking of friends, actually. You didn't give me enough credit. I actually didn't have a friend, or they're still a friend, but I left because of a friend.
And you did not think to tell me?
Well, it was kind of a spur of a moment sort of thing.
It gives you an eyebrow raise.
And if his cheeks weren't already red, they're starting to turn like a dark red.
Is that heat beginning to gather around your cheeks?
Nope. Probably just from the overwashing. Yep.
Fascinating. I did not strike you as someone to run after someone else. Good on you.
Well, we were supposed to run away together, but then I got kind of caught, and then I had to go after him.
Well, that's where you went wrong. Getting caught, so don't do it again.
Not planning on it. I don't. How would I? It won't happen again.
He nods along, thinking about who it could be. It's not one of Nessa's friends, is it?
Ugh. No. They're all pompous asshole. Unpleasant to
language?
be around.
Better. The use of foul language is only a show of a lack of intellect, and that is above you, so do not. There's no need for that.
Well, doesn't hurt to call them what they are. Just kidding. But no, it's not anyone from the noble district.
He looks even more shocked. Well, now you just have me confused. And he'll just begin to leave. I'm going to see if I can find a place to rest for this period of time that I am here. I saw that there were some spare rooms elsewhere. But, yes.
You can speak to Richter Coraline regarding anything in the mansion, I'm pretty sure, so if you need anything.
I was going to speak to the headman himself and see if I could get something for helping save his life, so some benefits have to come in.
At least a thank you would be nice.
Oh, at least. Otherwise, I put the demon back in there.
That was a joke, yes.
He leaves.
Just closes the door behind, like, not fully.
Mm-hmm. How about the rest
Feels
of
a
you?
bit.
Any other plans for this afternoon/evening?
Cal would have eventually sought out Oren to tell him that he contacted the carriers and the people pulled into the fight. Thought they just had a bad dream. So it's all fine. To which Oren doesn't react.
Arne, if you're trying to speak, we cannot hear you.
It's perfectly safe. Cool.
You fuck, I was muted.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, no, I was not muted. I unmuted myself. However, my headphones are being dicks.
Nice.
Ah.
So I had to unplug them and plug them back in. Anyway, after Cal says, they thought they were dreaming. It's really fine, isn't it? Or it's just standing there. It really is not.
Yeah, I know it's not fine, but at least they're not hurt or anything.
They aren't. But I will still get Richter to drop me off at Cragmount. I need to talk to my sister.
Yeah. I think. Wait, Max, correct me if I'm wrong. Her carrier should be in Isfordena, right?
He isn't, actually. He's elsewhere.
He's not.
No.
Where is he?
When
As far as I know.
When he said the message, he said he just woke up. So he
True,
must be
he can't
somewhere
be here.
west.
How dare he? Okay. Never mind. Then I'd have to ask where he is. Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah.
You seem like you want to say something else.
No, I'm thinking about how to ask this without pissing you off again. How are you feeling? How mad are you on a scale from very to I don't know, way more?
I'm less angry than I'm disappointed. We've known them for a while now. But for most of that time, they were lying. But it's not something one can easily recover from.
Yeah. How the hell do we continue?
I don't know.
I mean, I definitely want to continue taking care of these demons. They've proven to be a threat and shit.
Yes, we must.
Yeah, about everybody. But can we continue doing it with this group? With this constellation as it is?
Only time to think, to forgive, perhaps.
Mm.
But I don't know if I can ever have the same level of trust in Oberon again. We
Yeah.
can't be patronizing each other this way, keeping knowledge for each other, keeping knowledge away for each other's sake. It will hurt us in the long run. Regardless, I better get going. My sister will wonder what happened. And I doubt she will attribute this to simply a dream.
Mm. Alright. Good talk. Bye.
And Oren's getting himself dropped off.
Okay. You speak to Richter. With the cane still in hand, you'll see he glances over. Of course, we'll get you there. If anything, we need a change of scenery anyway, so we'll stay around Cragmount for a few days. We're in no rush at the moment. Take your time.
In that case, there's a builder's district to the south. They probably won't notice an extra house. Those pop up daily.
Very well, we'll place ourselves in the city.
Perhaps not something this elaborate, but
I will need your help then, guiding us to the right spot.
of course.
And as you head over to the preparation chamber, you see the orb, you see everything in place. You begin to watch as, for the first time in a while, Richter is using the staff, and his eyes roll back into his head as you see him focusing on where to go. The large space in which you scry normally, where you can see a projection of what the scry orb is watching or looking at, you see the vision of where the house will go displayed through that, like a projector. You circulate through the large mountain into the belly of its streets and cityscape that both dress the exterior and towards the inside. You look for the sector in particular, find a secluded construction site that has been long abandoned. And together, you find that as the next point to teleport to. And then the house folds away and reappears in that space that was chosen. With a new space, Ulrin ready to head out. All of you can see you are now somewhere where you weren't before. And it is announced to the group that you're in Cragmount, given by Richter, and there is a day, 2 days, 3 days, as long as you'd like to spend here, available for you, and anywhere else you wish to go during these next couple of days. Before we end off, is there anything that Oberon ends up doing before we finish today's session?
Oberon, like, would just keep almost obsessively, like, just going through different, like, sword forms. Just, like, again and again.
Practice, practice, practice. And with every final flourish, you can see the image of Tintava just appear in different forms, in different positions of fright and cockiness, exuding a despicable confidence, twisted as she is. One thing you notice, which is perhaps different from normal, you see something about her that you never did before, and that is her tongue. It is completely green and vile. Seeing that, we'll end the session there, and we'll pick it up next time. So, there we are. Conclusions, finalities, reveals, as we are finally all on the same page as to what is going on. No longer are there any secrets that are hiding in the background. Everything is on full display. And we'll see the outcome of this in the next few sessions, because there's still some drama to be sorted out for sure in the party before anything starts happening. Do you think? Am I reaching?
Yeah, you're reaching.
I think I might be onto something.
Nah, we'll peachy. We'll peachy.
Peachy peach. But there we are. Hopefully you enjoyed at home. Hopefully you had fun. And for the rest of you, the players as well. If you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe and follow us on Twitch or whatever social media we're on. If you want to stay up to date for when we next play. This Threads of Chaos is typically streaming every Tuesday. Same time, same place, same everything. Again, if you're on YouTube, you have the full playlist available to you, so you can watch everything from start to end if you aren't caught up already. And as well, if you want to catch us live, best place to do it is on Twitch, because there we have a nice large community that you'll be able to talk to, and we can see your comments there a lot easier as well if you want to get engaged during the stream. But if you are interested in other sorts of streams, we have a variety stream on Wednesday where we will be playing some Minecraft, finishing off the little world that we've been doing by fighting the Ender Dragon. So we'll see how that goes. As well, we have streams on Friday, I believe.
Yes.
And we should have one on Sunday as well, I believe.
We are?
God damn it.
We might be.
But I won't be there.
We'll see.
So.
We'll see. We'll see. It's a little bit of a strange sort of end of the month, so we'll see what ends up happening. But that's why you should probably follow us on Twitch and everything else.
And
know
Precisely.
because we don't know what we're streaming
Instagram will
next.
probably tell you.
Yeah, we'll find out. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.